¿Sabes quién está aquí, verdad?
Are you ready?
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude is so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be in a great war, maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go.
I have to put the joke.
No, hey. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate you.
Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Mira, ¿estás despierto? Wake up. That's right. Sunday recap aquí con los amigos de siempre en Long Live Boxing en Vivo Podcast. Aquí siempre en vivo. Manny Marrero.
Chanel Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. Starting your Sunday morning on the right track to get you down to where you need to be. Great weather outside. Great boxing all across the world. And yes, we are here to break it down. We apologize, those of you that were waiting for our reaction from last weekend. We're going to have it here today. A lot to talk about. Very short on time, but I can definitely guarantee you your morning will never be the same after this show.
Yeah, pretty much anytime you interact with us, your life will never be the same. So
yeah.
That's a good, bad, and different thing that we bring every time. Again, thanks, like my brother said, for tuning in. We're happy to be with you. And if you're listening live on the YouTube for us or Facebook or on the audio podcast version, we appreciate it. So let's get down to it.
Gringo, before we begin, man, I just want to apologize to you guys. I know lately I've been all caught up with the quince, but the quinceañera's over with. That was all last week, and now everything should be back to normal now. It's just, it gets pretty hectic when the day gets closer and then the actual weekend of. So my bad, guys, but I'm back. So let's get back.
Not at all, man. We enjoy the pictures. Sorry we couldn't be there, but we understand, and family is first. And everything was great, man. I saludo a tu media mitad, tu niña, tu familia. It was a good, thing to do there. So we're good with that. Dímelo, Cano Loco!
Cano Loco Sports in the house, man, a.k.a. The Source. So let's get to it as far as talking about the weekend. And there was a lot of boxing to talk about. So in honor of our brother being back in full effect mode, Hopper, which fight had your attention the most? And we said it, but once continually, nothing like Saturday afternoon.
All of them had my attention first, man. Really, I wanted to see how Tim Tszyu performed his first time here in America, but I also wanted to see Josh Warrington and Kiko Martinez the rematch. That one didn't disappoint. Man, it's just a great night of boxing. I wanted to see Alacran as well, how he bounced back, and he didn't bounce back. So where do we begin? Josh Warrington, Kiko Martinez, that's a good starting point right there, since it was the first fight of the day. Like you say, gotta love that Saturday afternoon boxing.
Saturday afternoon boxing. Let's kind of get into it. So it was a rematch. It was their second fight. Warrington was coming off a stoppage because of a cut or a bumped head because of
Mauricio Lara. He kind of checked out.
But hey,
really checked out. It was disappointing though. We all were expecting.
He didn't want it.
Right? He didn't want to smoke.
He didn't want.
That was probably the best I've seen him look in a while, man.
That
was like vintage
different.
Warrington, man. He had a different feeling. Like, oh shit, I gotta fight Lara. Okay,
yeah. I don't have to fight that Mexican anymore. Yeah, because Josh Warrington, he has that kind of, I don't want to say boring style, but the Brits kind of they have that different style. Let's just call it like that. Let's just say that is. But no, he was he looked good yesterday. He looked invigorated. Like, oh yeah, Mauricio Lara's not in front of me. It's Kiko. It's a Spaniard. I've already beat him, so he looked confident.
Yeah, I think that also goes to the standpoint of the mental aspect of boxing, because somebody that had knocked him out compared to somebody that he had beat before and had success.
Boom.
I mean, he was like a different person.
That's the perfect way to describe it. You're going to go in there against somebody that knocked your ass out, or you're going to go in there against somebody you already beat. Of course you're going to be in there chippy and happier with the guy you already beat.
Yeah, I mean, just his whole her body language and everything. You know, he was fighting in Leeds. You know, I'm not going to say like I'm a geographic expert on the world, and definitely not.
I couldn't find it on the map,
but I know that's his playground. That's where he's from. So obviously, he's feeling doubly excited. Somebody I beat, you know, a chance for a belt, and I'm fighting somebody that I success against before in my hometown. Sign me up. And speaking of sign me up, salute to our brother Nopal Baxliano. Manny, Hopper, Manny, and Gringo, Cano, what up, loco? Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
Saludito.
On the West Coast side. But yeah, man.
That was good to see Warrington back again. I wasn't really thrilled, to be honest, when they announced this fight. You know, why would you fight against someone that you've already beaten? Why don't you go back again for a third fight against Lara and settle things out there? And I think that fight needs to happen the next for Warrington. I know why. I know no smoke in that, but you gotta do that. And honestly, it just doesn't look good in the fact that you're trying to deviate from the reality. And is you know, Lara that type of guy that will not allow Warrington to do the things he did yesterday? And I'd say yes. And that's why me as a fan, I want to be able to see that, because I want to be able to see if Josh Warrington is actually ready to capture and, you know, and to contend with all the other champions at the 126 pounds. And, you know, Navarrete, come on. I mean, you got some huge people in there. You know, Magsayo, is that something that'll get interested? Will Leo Santa Cruz come down? Lee Wood. Do you see what I'm saying? So
I think that's what they're setting up.
I need to see things settle on the right, so that way he can definitely go to the left.
Keep moving. Yeah, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. And I think with Josh Warrington, it's taken a while, but I'm finally getting rid of those images from his fight against Kid Galahad. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was. You want to go to sleep? Watch that fight. Josh Warrington against Kid Galahad. I was watching it. We were on our way to Shreveport, I think, at the time, and it was a danger zone. I had to turn it off. Like, oh crap! But yeah, man, you talk about a not so aesthetically pleasing fight for the fans. But no, slowly but surely, you know, I'm getting away from those images. Just Warrington yesterday, he looked good, man. He looked good. I mean, if that Josh Warrington was to face Mauricio Lara again, shit, I'm all for it. Let's get it, because you know, like we always say, Gringo, Mauricio Lara. He's gonna get as much as he gives. So he's there to
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he's what makes him so exciting. He's got vulnerability. You know, he's got you can see the blueprint of how to beat him, but the execution. But I think our brother Manny kind of touched on it that you know, there's other guys with belts. There's guys that, I mean, you know, Eddie Hearn knows what he's doing. Lee Wood, that I see those paths as being the next direction of where he would go. Now, hey, big ups to him, to Josh Warrington, and then shout out to him, because actually before the stoppage, which I know some people kind of questionable with it, but I mean, when the fighter doesn't protest, when Martinez didn't protest about being the stop, I mean, and he had no chance of winning.
He had no chance. No. He was brutally just beating him. You know, I think Kiko just stood there in the corner and took a lot of damage, and I think that over the course of the round, it just started really hurting, and he knew it. Something went wrong, that, you know, he just felt like I'm the weakest link right now, and, you know, a stoppage may benefit my future. That's the way I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree. But, you know, before the actual, you know, stoppage was actually Kiko Martinez's best shot of the night. He had a real good shot. And actually, it came out today. Josh Warrington put on the social media that he was disappointed because he was looking forward to a GC cheeseburger, and I can relate, brother. Actually, he's in the hospital, and he's going to be out.
Gringo was disappointed for him.
Yeah. Cheeseburger on his behalf, brother. Shout out to you. But no, he actually broke his jaw.
Oh yes, that's right. I saw that. He got his jaw broken, which is crazy, man. And you didn't even think. I wonder what round that happened. He didn't elaborate on.
No, I mean, like, to me, it seemed like the best shot Kiko landed was before he got stopped. It was like 20 seconds before.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, that's the thing about it. It could be the accumulation just overall. But my hope is, in my little gringo mind, is that he gets enough confidence and enough pride within himself that he'll want that Lara fight. But I know that's not realistic, and I know. Do you think is that a dream that I have that's not realistic?
No, man, I don't know, Gringo. It's I think I don't think he mentioned a lot of people yesterday after he won, but he didn't mention a lot. So
yeah, he did not. He did not.
Yeah.
He did not.
I mean, and there's a
not.
lot of people at 126 pounds. We can't forget about Mr. Gary Russell Jr.
Right.
He's still around. You still got even Supernova.
I love how Hopper says Mr.
Gonzalez.
Gary Russell Jr. Mr. Gary.
Hey, I still got love for Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Man,
we got you. It's just awesome.
I still got love for him, man. I've always thought highly of him. Even though he lost, man. He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to him and shout out to 126. And that's
shout out to 126. Yeah. I think the top dog at 126 is going to be. I think the top dog is still Vaquero.
It is. It really is. It really is, and he'll probably move out. But you can't take away a couple of guys. Also, you got Michael Collin there, Brando Figueroa, and also Isaac Dogby could be someone that can. I mean, you don't know. These guys are still having opportunity to bring up, and
Ray Vargas still.
Ray Vargas. There's a lot of contenders.
Cherry Chevalier,
really good.
Absolutely. 126 Chevy Chevalier.
Well, thank you for mentioning him. Chadi,
man.
Chadi.
And I don't want to get derail the show because there's a lot of things we want to touch on, but just real quick, I know a lot of people, and I'm talking about hardcores, like they'll say the fights aren't happening. To be honest, man, when they're saying the fights aren't happening, honestly, they're saying, to me, when I hear that, they're talking about, and I hate to mention it, Spence Crawford, 147.
There you go. That's the fight that should not be named on this show, Gringo.
But I'm saying
Spence Crawford.
Right. And then they're talking about their favorite fighter, insert whoever that is, whether it's Benavidez or Charlo or whomever or Beterbiev, they're disappointed that fight hasn't happened with Canelo. But to me, if you look at 115, a lot of smoke, a lot of fights are happening. Pretty much the lower weight classes fights are happening. The women are fighting. Hell, the heavyweights, we can say what they want, and we'll get into that later. Those fights are happening amongst
and even at 154, we got a unification still going on.
Yeah, so 154.
We're getting it twice, the rematch. So I mean,
really can't much complaining, man. Yeah, boxing fans, we continue to not be
That's
shit.
That's what we do, bro. We talk a lot of shit. So
yeah, but I'm saying when you really look at it, the fights are happening.
Yeah,
126 is no different. And
slowly, but they're happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of another fight that happened, Manny, what do you want to talk about? Alacran or Tim Tszyu?
Oh, I know he wants to kick the Mexican when he's down. I already know where he's going.
No, I mean, I think I'll start with Tim Tszyu. I think Tim Tszyu has been able to do a lot of things for the last couple of years to be able to stand strong in the 154 pounder. Is that where we're at? Yeah. So, listen, there's only a couple of guys there he can actually go after and that's Brian Castaño and also Jermell, but they're going at it coming soon. So is Tszyu the right guy right now to be able to sit back and wait to see what happens? Would that be something that may happen, or is it going to be a rematch and then Tszyu has to go a different route to stay active? And I think that will be the best way. He is ready, but I want to see him a little bit more with someone of a higher caliber than just the rest of the guys that he has fought as yet. Take a look at maybe a Liam Smith, maybe someone that is actually Fundora. I mean, someone else that can actually has been a former champion and he can really keep up that pace for eventually an undisputed at the 154 pound, because that's why he's going to encounter an undisputed opportunity. And that is awesome. That is great. And it excites me because when you build your career and you work so hard and you get one shot, one opportunity, which a lot of people won't agree with me on this, right? You want to get one belt at a time, but it doesn't matter. You got an opportunity for all the belts against a top name, especially if it's Jermell in a PBC. Would PBC give Tszyu a chance, or would they move somewhere else?
Man, they don't even give their own guys a chance.
You know what? That's actually a good point because
they don't even give their own guys a chance.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, who do you want Rude that he may get an opportunity, right? And that's the best case scenario. But the reality is we know that the waiting game will continue for poor Tszyu. That's what I think, that he's probably going to have to go a different route to continue to prove himself. It's see if they might give him an opportunity.
Yeah, but what was cool about this is that we finally actually got to watch him without having to wake up early. It was in the evening, because a lot of times when he fights in Australia, it's like 3 a.m. over here, 2 a.m. So, a lot of times I watch 1 or 2 fights live, but all the other ones I always caught the replays because, man, it's just way too damn early. But And you know what? You were mentioning opponents, Manny. I think I would love to see him match up because he's in his interviews. Tim Tszyu says he's not going to wait. He's going to keep staying active, which is beneficial for his career. If you guys have read him in his past interviews where he says that he doesn't understand why these guys only fight once a year. They should be fighting multiple times. It's boxing. You're not in there for the long haul. Make as much money as you can and get out of the sport. So if what he says is true, he's going to stay active. He's going to keep fighting. I would love to see him match up against Tony Harrison just to see where he stacks up. That's a great fight for him. A measuring stick. I know you say. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not how you measure fighters against fighters." I go, dude, but it's still a gauge just to see where he's at. He struggles mightily or he wins convincingly. So I would love to see him match up against Tony Harrison because Tony Harrison gave Jermell Charlo hell. And he was winning that second fight up until he got caught. So that'd be a fantastic fight to see where he's at. And then by the time Tim Tszyu gets to Jermell or Brian, if he keeps fighting and staying active, he's going to be sharp. He's going to be more experienced. He's going to be, as Gringo, I know he hates to say, he hates when I say this, but maybe he's not ready right now. But in a few fights, he will be. Maybe
but he has fought some great
2 fights away.
He's got a couple of good guys in the resume. You know,
Gasha was
Dennis Hogan.
Gasha was
a very good fight.
Gasha's always a very slick, tricky fighter to look good against, and he's good. He's experienced. I mean, that counter punch in the first, that's not an easy skill set to dismiss when you're punching through punches and you counter somebody like that. That's very sneaky. That's very skillful of Gasha, you know. And he got caught. It wasn't hurt. I don't think Tim Tszyu was hurt. It was more. He even said it himself. It was more of a flash knockdown. He got up and he dominated the fight. But so yeah, I mean. I'm excited to see more of Tim Tszyu, man. I know a lot of people. He's catching a lot of hate for some reason. I mean,
I don't know why.
Knock everybody out, man.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fine.
That's just gonna happen. I mean, sometimes that hate comes from the unknown, and a lot of it, like you said, a lot of people haven't, to be honest, maybe not seen a lot of his fights because of when they're fought.
You're saying a lot of people, and I'm gonna summarize a little bit. PBC fans, because that's a division dominated by PBC. So if you're a PBC fan and Jermell Charlo's fan, then that means that anyone else don't matter to you. So
yeah, that's a good point, Manny. I think you're right. You just exposed everybody. I know, right? There are Jermell Charlo fans hating on him. That's pretty much it.
I know it.
We don't want to see anyone else grow besides my little,
PB,
shit. I mean, see.
In fairness, though, that was on Showtime, and the PBC, they do work with Showtime, and I know at one point that was the fight that was going to be on the undercard. That was a co-main, the one we saw last night. They decided to separate it on its own card. Up until I say about 2 months ago. Well, you know what? When they changed it is when they changed the date. That's when they changed it. Remember when they changed and they pushed back because Castano hurt? He got injured.
That's right. And there was a little bit of drama where Tim Tszyu was saying he wasn't going to wait, and then the WB ordered that he can go ahead with the rematch, and then
so in fairness for our PBC fans that are listening, I think Tim Tszyu has just as much chance to get the winner. I'll say this: he has more chance than Crawford does. So I think Tim Tszyu will definitely get the winner. That for one, it's and I know people that are Crawford fans will like this. It's a more lucrative fight, for one. And that is definitely a more.
Oh yeah, Tim Tszyu has the whole country of Australia behind him.
Yeah, and
Crawford has Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska. Crawford's got a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Nebraska, it's not the same thing. So fairness, and then also too, just in terms of a winnable fight. Tim Tszyu is definitely a live dog, and I think that I love the Tony Harrison fight that was mentioned by my brother Hopper. But the winner of Charlo Castano 2, I think a lot of people seem like they're leaning towards Jermell on that. I think Tim Tszyu would be a much more winnable.
I don't know.
Would you say that
after the Castano fight against Jermell? I just hope Jermell comes in a different state of mind and different game plan. But
I think
here's my best scenario that I love to see this. That will be fantastic to be able to take all these Australians, champions, unified champions. Can you imagine a big, huge fight having Cambosos, being on the main event and bringing in Tszyu as well and bringing a title shot against some of these guys? That will be fantastic for Australia.
A lot of money there.
Do you see what I'm saying? So this will be really good not only for the sport but also for the fans, and continue to expand the brand around the world, especially when you have someone right now that is on this unified, close to the legal undisputed if he ever, if that Haney fight ever happens.
All right, so I want to get to some comments real quick, and then we'll go on to the next thing. But good stuff, brothers. Elcano Local Sports, the source. They do, and he's yelling at me. He's yelling at me right now. They all do. So, Top Rank, DAZN, PBC, etc. They all do the same. It's facts.
He's right. But I think. Yeah, no, he's right. It's not beat around the bush. He's right. But I think other promotional companies are they'll play ball a little more. They'll work with each other. But hey, shit, you know what though, man? PBC and Jaime Munguia and Jamal Charlo, that fight looked like the PBC wanted it. It looked like Oscar and Golden Boy. They didn't want the TV distribution or whatever. I thought it was pretty fair. Just get Mexico and you get UK, and then they get the United States here, man. But I don't know. I'm off topic now.
No,
it's pissing me off.
But yeah, we want to get you fired up.
What's up, G Funky? Thank you for stopping by, brother.
House. Morning, brothers. Stop by to share and hit the like button. Man, for real. Hit that thing. Love that thing. All right, so yeah, Stephen Ruiz. House. I want to say something too crazy. Crawford doesn't even have Nebraska's pay-per-view numbers.
That's true. It's just his household.
That's a good one.
His cousins.
Man. So let's keep going. With all right, so
fire shots.
Hey, Manny, did you want to touch a little bit on the undercard or any of the fighters that fought on the
Puerto Rican fighters?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a very good weekend for Puerto Rican boxing, with the exception of a couple, but a couple of things that I want to mention outside of PBC at Top Ranks. Salute to the former IBF bantamweight world champion Emmanuel Manny Rodriguez. Man, devastated body punch he applied to Roberto Sanchez in the first round. I think it was in Mexico. Is it Sinaloa? Was it? I forgot where it was, or Culiacan, one of them places. But good to see the former champion getting back in the action the way he did it. Yesterday on that. The youngster, man, we never talked about this kid. I think I mentioned a little bit here there. Juan Macho Solis, 7-0, improved at 7-0. Had a great, decision victory against, Alex Oliveira. And, this is another talented individual. Keep in mind, Oliveira came into the fight, 22 victories with 2 losses. And so this is the biggest test in his career, to be able to continue on to do what he's doing. Purin Caraballo against Saavedra. Wow, what a fight. After Purin, a very talented individual, a lot of hopes for this youngster coming up into the future. And, he had a devastating loss in the previous fight. And then they add him another tough one in Saavedra, a guy that doesn't back out. And I think right now, honestly, people may probably see it. Well, he was just like Hopper mentioned. He was doing the Tour of France, but no, I think he was a little bit smarter in making sure that he reminded me a little bit of a Camacho. He had some glance of that in where he had that speed coming in, throwing combinations, and then pull away and work that ring. Saavedra tried to cut the ring a lot, but it wasn't enough. I think that Purin led with the jab and did the things he had to do. A lot to improve from the youngster. Don't bash him yet, guys. This is the problem. No. We're starting to hear the hype about some of these guys, and you are expecting too much of them. Let them work their magic.
Yeah,
great comeback,
man. That's your guys, man. That's your boys. They hype them up, and then they put all these unreasonable expectations on them, and then of course they're gonna, when they hit a bump in the road, it's like, oh, he's a fraud. Man, dude, let the dude develop. Let him have somewhat of a career. And talk about Caraballo. I want to see him rematch against Jonas Sultan, man. I want to see that. I want to see that rematch. I want to see him, see if he's improved. Because, who wouldn't want to see that rematch fight, man? Caraballo was doing good in that fight.
No, he was doing good
up until it's just when he got
caught. But that's the problem. That's the problem he had, which he worked a little bit. It's like you got the lead, just pull back. There's no reason for you to be exchanging and getting into the corners and getting
too much in the firefight.
Too much in the right. So I'm glad to see that.
Too much bravado, too much macho. It's hard. It's hard for them. You see it like a lot of times. They get hit and they want to hit right back, and then a lot of times, that's not the right game planning.
Yeah.
The next one, Top Rank, brought back again after that devastating 1-round knockout against Chon Cepeda. They brought back against Jose Vargas, against DeMario. It was okay performing for him. I think he graded himself a D. I'll say a C+. Because at least he remained active, not as cocky as he was before. I think he went down to the level.
He got a little humbled,
just slightly a little bit. But funny thing is, if you guys see the fight, DeMario took a bite out of the cram. He wanted to do. he wanted to be
Hambre.
yeah, I know, and he took a bite right here in the shoulders, like, you know. So, you know, he got a point deducted in there. You know, but yeah, absolutely, man. We are expecting a lot from Josue Vargas. I think he needs to. He's the guy that I don't care about. People say, well, let him develop. No, he needs to perform now. He didn't do it against Sean. He looked bad, you know, against, you know, less than a opponent than Sean Cepeda. And if you want to contend at the 140 pounds, you want to be a champion, especially if Taylor goes north, all those titles are vacated. I just don't think right now, with the talent that is 140 pounds, I don't think Jose Vargas, it's even close to be in there.
Oh, man, we got a couple comments in here. It seemed like he kind of woke the chat up a little bit. So, your man Punch Smollett's in there. Our man, Kano Local Sports, the source says,
that's right.
He's yelling at me.
I give him a C, bro.
I give him a C. Look horrible. A C is failing, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's still failing. I mean,
the ceiling is the roof with Vargas.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Bruce.
I was gonna say that. How is that not a disqualification? That's more of out of there.
That shouldn't be like even debated. Like, okay,
you bit automatic. You bit this.
I mean, Tyson got a piece of that.
I thought he lost.
Good job.
So, I mean, I'll continue to say it. And as far as the Puerto Rican prospects, and we'll touch a little bit more on them, you know, for the guys that fought last week, and the guys that are on the verge of contender and there's different stages of the career, I say Jose Vargas is the one I'm the least excited about.
Ooh, what a hater.
I said least excited.
I'm going to disagree. I think he's my second least.
In your face, gringo.
Horrible now.
And I'm going to tell you who is my biggest disappointment.
Adorno. What is Adorno's?
Adorno.
Yeah.
Horrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. No disrespect for Michel Rivera. I mean, the Ali look-alike. Youngster. He's got that poise. He's got the, you know, I mean, I don't want to compare him to Ali, but he looks like him. Talent-wise, not yet. However, man, what a disappointment. Adorno did nothing at all to be able to, you know, get a plan B to stop that jab. It was a boring fight. If you ask me, out of all the rounds, I only watched like 3 or 4. I was getting up, getting the break, coming back. It's like, oh, that fight's still there. You know, when is it going to end? I'm just very disappointed. And I think right now the boat for Adorno in terms of being a contention for a world title, I think that is actually bye-bye, see you. You know, for the youngsters, he's going to be there kind of like a gatekeeper for the ones that are up and coming and see what they got. But, man, I just hope his brother, you know, can do a lot better than Joseph, because, you know, I hope Jeremy, but Joseph just that's my biggest disappointment.
No, I mean, that's fair. You know, that's fair. But, you know, in comparison though, man, because that Jermaine Ortiz fight, I saw a lot of Adorno there, and that's where the fight after he got dropped in October.
Hell of a fight.
He's at least been in good fights. I'll say that. Like, he's got the power. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, again, for me, the one that I'm least excited about is Jose Vargas. Like, when he fights, he's fighting. You know, it really does nothing for. Okay, so kind of local sports, the source, Subriel Martis.
Yes.
Vargas.
Oh, big time.
Like, it would be.
Ooh, yeah, hell yeah.
Subri. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Steven.
Berlanga look bad too. Berlanga look bad too. Are we gonna talk about that?
No, man, we're not gonna talk about that. All right, so HLD. No, we are. Of course, we're not running from the smoke. Our man Manny's ready for whatever y'all got. Shout out to HLD tuning in. Much love, brother. Kind of local sports, and he's yelling at us the whole time. This man is in caps the entire show. Remember me saying the young Adorno is the one, and
Jeremy
always say, that's true.
It's like he's the Puerto Rican source over here, man. This guy knows everything.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's right. And we did see him. We did see him. We were there together when we watched him jumping on that awesome card in Orlando, Florida. He was
Bless Hands, the younger one.
No, Jeremy.
The chosen one. Or
it's like Bless Hands and then Wash
Hands and the chosen one, right?
Like that. Both
hey, Steven's coming in.
Damn, look at Steven.
Whoa, good morning to you, Steven.
That's all I got?
Damn. All right. Props to Miss Denise in the house. Much love to Miss Denise.
Shots fired.
I haven't forgot about that one, Steven. I have not forgot about that one. We just need to see you. Where are you at? Are you hiding? I'm not hiding. I'm here. Right. You're hiding, Steven.
Magic hands.
Bless again, we got magic hands. Thank you very much.
Magic hands. There you go. Thank you for commenting for that.
Consistently, and that was when we did 3 years ago, actually. Wow. Yeah. Today, when we talked about the top 5 Puerto Rican prospects, and that was a great show where we did around Ocano Local Sports. And
guys, follow this guy. This guy's awesome. Got a lot of source. If you want to know a little bit more
source for
about,
Puerto Rican.
you want to know a lot about more Puerto
and-
Rican boxing and what's in it, what's trending.
Yeah,
just
Loco.
take a look at his channel, and he does, does a great job. Natural. The guy's as a natural. So
if he says
he's
it,
got a lot of backup.
Puerto Rican source is true. If he says
absolutely.
it,
No, I mean, yeah. Honestly, I'm joking around and I'm smiling, but when Kano says something, I take it as gospel, man.
I'll think about it a little bit, but then I'm like, he's making sense.
No, I don't even think about it, man. It's just
like, oh shit, for real?
Like shit.
Yeah. He could say whatever, and I'll believe it. I'm like, oh crap.
Oh shit. Yeah, like everybody side with PBC today.
Damn, already.
Cool. I'm ready. All right, so get to this HLD comment. Vargas is lucky.
Oh, he'll be getting cut.
No, I don't think he'll get cut because of his popularity.
Yeah,
he'll stick around just simply to sell tickets.
Yeah, I mean, then also too, people sell tickets because people like them, and what we learned from fighters, even the great Muhammad Ali, not everyone was a fan. They had people that didn't like him lose. They want to see him lose. So I think that has an appeal as well. And speaking of appeal, a guy that I have a big affinity for and a great appreciation for, his career has been so exciting for me as a fight fan. And I was hoping for more because I was thinking that the new trainer, 135, he's saying all the right things, but you know what? At the end of the day, you have to fight, and it didn't come together. Adeklan Berchelt, what's your thoughts? I know, hey, we were bashing the Puerto Ricans like in the chat, man. They've been ready to come for him. So, Hopper.
Yeah, it was tough to watch, man. My boy Alacrán, he was saying all the right things. I believed him when he was saying, "Oh, it was the COVID against Oscar Valdez." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, bro. It was the COVID," and he's gonna go out there and show everybody what's up, and he didn't. So, I think that knockout. It's too early to say it ruined him, but it definitely did some psychological effects to him, and it definitely took something out of him. Now he moved up to the 135 division. It's not like he was fighting an actual 135 pounder because Jeremiah moved up with him. Mm-hmm. So I think he fights a true 135 pounder. I think it might go even worse than that. But remember, if you remember Nicotilla, he also caught Shakur Stevenson a few times with some good shots, and Shakur took those well though, and Alacrán did not. Man, He looks war torn. Like his body's just like he's been through a lot of battles, man. And he had a nice stretch there where he was a man to be feared, a man to be a force to be reckoned with. And then I think the COVID really messed him. A COVID and Oscar Valdez, and then just man, we might be seeing. It might be back towards the end of Alacrán's career. It pains me to say that, man. He provided a lot of good fights.
No, see, that's a great point. And Manny, we'll get your thoughts too. Do you guys think? Okay, first of all, do you want it to end? Like, because it's up to the fighter.
I mean, shit, dude. He's been stopped already twice in a row. I mean, he moved up. He said he was struggling to make 130 pounds. Oh, they did cut Elvis. I was pretty surprised that cut. So
yeah.
He was making noise in the bubble. Right?
Oh, he did a good job last night. He did a good job last night.
Good job, yeah.
Elvis Rodriguez, nice.
I lost my thought. I was saying on Alacrán.
He was
at 130. He was struggling to make 130, so he moved up to 135, and he didn't even fight a true 135 pounder. And you got work like that, bro. Man, I think he's probably gonna go back to what's the word we always use around here? Gatekeeper. He's gonna,
that just sounds weird.
Bro, I know, but you want to see him go in there and fight some of the more elite guys? And
I do.
135 pounds. He's not going to make 130.
No. And that's the thing. Like, it was just really tough to watch. Hey, but you know what? Shout out to Jeremiah.
It was heartbreaking.
He showed it was kind of the combination of where we're like matchmaking goes wrong. I really thought that, because they kept focusing on that Jeremiah had so many issues with Shakur, but who doesn't?
Come on,
only landed so many punches. They're kind of thinking, okay, from the matchmaker perspective, you have this guy moving up, but he's 5'2", 72-inch reach, and then crazy power in the right hand.
Crazy power. And the thing about it is, and then I'm gonna give Jeremiah a shout out. He had the line of made me laugh. He goes, I think Alacrán is still asleep from that Oscar Valdez knockout. And then a few days later, he goes, oh yeah, he's awoke now, but I'm gonna put him back to sleep or something. He was having fun with it, man.
Yeah, he was really. I mean, he was kind of out there doing whatever he wanted, and I believe the fourth round where Burchell had landed like a good like check hook and like a cross check that
Yeah, I think it was the 6 because it was around that he won, and then he comes back and gets stopped.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It was a combination. He was gun shy like right off the bat, and like right away there was like red flags going off in my head like this doesn't look good. I know that his corner man that they changed was saying he wants him to be more cautious. You fight one way, man. You are who you are.
Yeah.
I think it's too late in his career to make these changes, and by him being gun, because think about it, his offense is his defense. The guy's trying to fight off the barrage he's bringing.
Yeah.
Too much punishment early, so that put him and then he's taking tough shots. Jeremiah's bringing the leather, man.
Power.
Bringing power, heavy shots, and
they were landing.
Yeah, and they were landing flush, clean.
Too easily. They were landing way too easily for my liking, man. And then
yeah, definitely. So that was definitely tough, but ultimately I'll say for myself, I can't see him as a gatekeeper, man. I really hope it's over. But I know from the fighter standpoint, they're heart of a champion, they're warriors. They got families. And I know one time it was said, that fighters, the reason why they continue to fight, it's the only way they know how to make money. They don't know.
But I think Burchell has made a lot of money. I think Burchell has had a lot of very difficult battles in the past. Burchell hasn't been a guy that demonstrated a lot of defense. He's a brawler. He takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of punches. One comment that a lot of people were saying back when he was at 130, I can't wait to see him at 135 and his power. There you go. You guys witnessed yesterday that it doesn't matter. You can go up. Yeah. There was no power yesterday. I think it's fading out a little bit. Definitely, I believe COVID. Something going on with the COVID, if you're an athlete, professional athlete at the elite level, that it doesn't allow you to perform at that level again. You have to really work hard.
Look at Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell retired.
Luke Campbell. And trust me, I'm not an elite level athlete. I like running. I like working out. And shout out to me, I lost 17 pounds. But anyway, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle.
So did Gringo. Gringo lost 17 pounds too. But then he found him.
Yeah, I haven't been able to perform at the level that I was doing when I was running half marathons. So with that being said, now you witnessed yesterday what Burchell can do at 135 pounds with an opponent that actually moved up with them. You had mentioned that. But you're not going to be able to contend against the other guys that have more power, guys that are going to weigh 140, 142 pounds at the date of the fight. Devin Haney, you ain't doing that. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not going to compete against Lomachenko. You're not going to. It's not. Gatekeeper, yes, maybe retirement and get involved in boxing. That might be the best thing for him. I hate to see him go because I've always been a Burchell fan, and I think he can definitely bring some more excitement into the sport. However, at what cost?
All right, so I'll just say real quick, and then we get to these comments, man. Like for me, and please don't at me in the comments. I don't want to see him fight again, man.
At him.
No, please don't. I'm
gonna at you right now.
No, don't. Damn it. All right, so I don't want to see him fight again. If he fights again, I'll go ahead and say right now, I won't watch it. Like I can't watch it.
Wow.
Well, I won't watch it live. I watch a replay. All right.
You'll watch it. You're lying. You'll watch it.
Sucker. What can I say? I'll watch it. We got some comments here. No Paul in the house. HCP. It should have gave Burchell a tune-up. Maybe Aram was doing no favors.
That's true. It kind of was a tune-up. Well, because they made him move up too. It kind of was. I mean, you don't want to call Jeremiah a tune-up, right? He's got that crazy power. But the fact that you're making him move up as well, so it's kind of not a full-blown tune-up, but they kind of gave Burchell, they cut him a little bit of an advantage somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought they thought it was going to be a bounce back for him. I really do. I thought another guy that's going to come.
I went short calling him a shot fighter, but it's hard to argue against it.
Yeah, HLD. Unfortunately, he's a shot fighter physically, but mostly mentally, and was gunshot.
Dang, pains me to say that he's right. Ugh.
Man, Remy, he's adding you, Hop.
Hopper, man, not Harper. Although Harper does sound pretty cool.
I actually like Harper better.
I like Harper.
Harper. Hopper.
Ringo, Manny, and Harper.
No excuses here, Remy. No, we appreciate you, brother. So, Punch Smollett, Burchell on the back foot, no good. Hey, that's another thing, man. Like, Jeremiah, that's where I thought, again, my fan goggles, I thought that Burchell had figured him out, but he had saw an opportunity like around the 4th where he had Jeremiah going on the back foot against the ropes. And like, he had negated some of that power, but that's the thing. Like even on the ropes, man, Jeremiah's power just came through. And that's when you don't move your head, you make it easy for your opponent. I mean, it just is. I mean, that's
somebody else does that too. Like Berlanga doesn't move his head.
Hey. All right, HLD. Michelle Thompson retires. Sent direct to the hospital 2 fights in a row. He's only fighting because he's not financially sound. Damn.
Yeah. That's it.
You guys are killing us.
Yeah.
All right. Man, no problem.
Ya estuvo, no para.
Steven Ruiz. I think Gigi. Hold on. Wait, is trying to do Michelle and doesn't work for them. They come forward, pressure fighters, not the guys that circle the corner. Man, that's true.
Gigi is still there.
Triple G,
he's
still around. That guy's still alive.
He's flying Murata next week.
No, that's right. He is
going to Canelo afterwards. Come on,
he's still around.
There's a guy in this panel that wants to see that Canelo.
No, but Wilder didn't look like this. Wilder actually dropped Fury in this last fight. He looked.
And then in the last fight, he actually did really look good.
Walter looks like he's still in fantastic shape. It's just fucking Fury's just bigger and stronger and just can box a little better.
That's a good point. Now, Punch Small, I'm not totally against what you're saying, but I think like to me for Wilder, and I believe what my brother Hopper may be saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, a different opponent may get a different result. When I see Burchell, I think it don't matter.
It don't matter exactly. Yeah, I think with Wilder, it's just that he was fighting Fury. I mean, that's a big motherfucker.
All right, so Nopal again. What up, brother? He was afraid to go for it. He had success, and then he lunged in, and he also in danger when he does. And man, he was definitely in danger there. Remy says he can still learn in some head moving and shouldn't retire.
At this state of his career, you've been a boxer. You've had your style for a while. We're not talking about 10 fights, 15 fights. This is 41 fights he's had. So I don't think he can change his style, and I don't think he can have that Jose Carlos Ramirez moving back and forth. He doesn't have that. He's never had it. Can he get a different trainer and maybe adapt that and probably perform another on the next fight?
All right, the comment here. We're all saying gun shy. I mean, it was definitely the first 2 rounds. HLD in the house with another great comment. Thank you, brother. But Chell said that he had no choice but to go to 135. He made no money in 135.
Well, he couldn't make the weight.
Not even in Mexico. That's a good
point, HLD.
That's a great comment, actually. You're right, HLD. I think they were paying him.
Who is Berchard with? He's with Zamfir, right? He's with Zamfir Promotions, promoted through Top Rank, though.
Yeah, our boy Listo is with Zamfir.
Zamfir, yeah.
Well, with that being said, he may continue to fight. Because he's a big part of their investment. Because think about it, and we're about to get into that a little bit. Don't think we've killed the lead, my brother Hopper. Don't worry, we're going to get to it real quick before we get out of here. But Oscar Valdez, who they mentioned quite a bit because, Shakur Stevenson and the whole...
They had Shakur there.
They were mentioning quite a bit. So, with that being said, as far as changing, because that's another thing that kind of surprised me. They talk about the change and it maybe got missed. And I know, Manny, you're not the biggest fan of Tim Bradley, but one comment he did make that I thought was really smart, that the camp, if this is true, Burchell's camp made a huge mistake by... They were bringing in boxers, not punchers. When he knew he was fighting Jeremiah, like
really?
He said they were bringing like Haney and guys that are not
boxers.
So, but you brought in no power punches. So you just basically like having them hang on to make it to the fight. I mean, I could see that, but you have to test.
Maybe they didn't want him to get dropped. Maybe in sparring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain that. That's odd as hell.
No, that kind of surprised me. And again, if that's true, I mean, I don't know.
If that's true.
Rumors. All right, so we'll go ahead and segue into this, and then we definitely want to make sure to get in our thoughts of Berlanga's ender. But just real quick, as far as they kept talking about it, and since there's a connection there, we'll talk about it real quick right now. Eddy Reynoso, right? He's got a camp that has Canelo. Recently lost Ryan Garcia. He lost a tough fight. Chocolatito showed his wear and his medal and shown that he's a champion.
Superior fighter.
El Rey. You know, and you know, there's been some challenges there. And then another thing that I'm concerned about, I don't know if he will or he won't. There's a possibility of him bringing on Teofimo. So, is there a possibility this could be a bad year for Eddy Reynoso? Because it also, let's say it on paper, you could argue that Canelo's up in his toughest fight.
That's gonna be my counterpoint. It all depends what happens May 7th. If Canelo wins, nah, it's not gonna be one of the bad years for Reynoso. If Canelo loses, then yeah, definitely it's the worst year of Canelo Reynoso's career. So it all hinges on Canelo, really. Everybody else, of course, but they're supporting cast to Reynoso. If Canelo wins in May, it's no gimme fight, no easy fight, and then he wins again in September. It's just another great year for Reynoso, regardless of what everybody else does. You know, Oscar Valdez is in there tough with Shakur. Frank Sanchez, I'm not quite sure what he's going to be doing yet. Then there are rumblings about Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. I don't know if that's I don't think that's made official or nothing, but it's you know, you hear the whispers. So I don't know, Gringo. I don't think so. I mean, like I said, it just comes down to Canelo. If he wins, nah. If he loses, then yeah, horrible year.
All right, that's a great point, you know, because I've been thinking, and I would really like to do at some point we could do a film study, kind of look at it, you know, but okay, let's say it's a reverse, you know, and I would like to get your thoughts because I'm gonna look at your
everybody else wins except Canelo loses.
Everybody else wins but Canelo. All right, so think about it.
Bad. That's a bad year, man.
Really?
I think
that's a bad year still.
Well, I mean, it's Canelo, man. It's Canelo. I think it's yeah, I think.
So, are you saying Canelo's going to lose against football?
Oh no, that's what Gringo's saying. Ooh. That's what this guy's saying.
Don't add me in the comments.
Are you trying to smooth your brain a little bit in case that happens? You know, and that way it doesn't shock you.
Oh, hold on, Manny. Hold on. It's a 50-50 fight. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. You know, it could happen. Bivol's got the technical ability. No, I think. He's a real threat for Canelo, man. So I'm excited.
He definitely is. So I guess also continuing that. So to me, I think if it's kind of different, it's about expectations because a lot of people, even though you and I and a lot of people are in the chat, but a lot of other people that I've read online, their perception of Bivol is lower for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And I think the perception.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Gringo, is their perception of fighters is always great up until Canelo signed to fight them, then they suck all of a sudden, or you know, all these deficiencies come out. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? It's just because Canelo's fighting them. That's the way it works, man. A guy can never win.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. Perception is reality. This is how we feel, but I really do believe, and then yesterday reaffirmed it because the way Shakur had such a dominating defensive performance against Jeremiah, and Jeremiah looked great. In fact, I say he looked great at 135. Then his build, the way he filled out, he seemed a lot more comfortable. He said he felt stronger. Of course, he had a great performance, and, you know, Burchell helped by not moving his head. But where I go back to say this, that I think, and this might sound crazy, that a Shakur Stevenson defeat, like if Oscar Valdez gets that win, I think that would people might perception wise boxing fans.
Well, that'll be a cherry on top of that because
no, but I'm saying like if he wins, I think people would respect that more than Canelo being.
But even if he loses, okay, he's not losing against anyone else. He's losing against Shakur Stevenson.
No, but I agree with that. But I'm saying like if he wins, I think that would be like 10 times bigger.
No, it'll be huge because now he just doesn't have Canelo only. He's got also Oscar Valdez. Unified 130 pounder.
Yeah,
you started talking about if this is a bad year for Eddy Reynoso in his camp by the things he's lost, and now having an opportunity he could lose with Valdez, and then he's got Canelo and Bivol, and who knows what happens to Andy. And then I mean, I don't think it's a bad. And Hopper's right. When you got Canelo in your corner, even though that's the only person you got, and he still continued to do the things you're doing, there's not a losing season for him. You know, the attention is directly to Canelo. Canelo is the guy. The rest of the people in his stable, yeah, he'll pitch in. He'll go in and try to develop them, all right, and get the best out of it. I mean, Freddie Roach did it. Freddie Roach had a numerous of fighters that he lost some champions, but he had Manny Pacquiao, right? That didn't make him a losing season. That's the same thing with Eddy Reynoso. Just because he's losing Ryan Garcia, just because he just lost a fight this last week, El Rayo, and just because he could lose to Oscar Valdez, could lose to Shakur, that doesn't make it a bad year for him. I think he's more than that, and he'll prove it. And honestly, Oscar could definitely lose against Shakur. They're going to be I think for me, this is the biggest fight for this year right now. Shakur and Oscar Valdez. And it's great.
On April 30th, right?
Yeah, and it's great to hear that Eddy Reynoso is involved once again in a big, huge, major fight when the stage is high and in unification at 130 pounds.
Yeah, April 30th. Woo.
No, also too, that's a great point. Kind of bring it back. That's a great point, Manny. But bring it back to what Hopper said that
April 30th, Oscar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring it back to what Hopper said, as far as like who's the fighter, basically because Shakur Stevenson is fighting Oscar Valdez, it's already being said. I mean, Shakur Stevenson said himself last night on a piece they did on ESPN, like, oh yeah, if I beat Oscar Valdez, then I definitely should be pound for pound. But at the same time, people are just kind of dismissing Oscar Valdez like he has no chance. So if he has no chance and you don't respect him, why not just make Shakur Stevenson pound for pound now? Like, why does he have to be the guy you don't respect? I've never really gotten that as far as like, how boxing fans think and they equate as far as like a value of what somebody did or didn't do. So that's just kind of my thing on that. But yeah, bottom line, I think that, Eddy Reynoso is basically how Canelo does. If Canelo has a great year and, like he on paper looks like he should be able to do, it's going to be a tough fight. Okay, let's say this before we get ready to go to
final thought.
Hopper, because like the table is set now, does it look like it sets things up to where Canelo has to take the winner, Better Be Smith, to unify?
Of course.
So the pressure, if he doesn't take that fight, are you disappointed?
I think because I know the way Canelo operates, he'll take that fight. I mean, he's already at the division. I don't think it'll be next, because the way they have it lined up is they still got that dude Triple G around. So he's gonna fight Triple G in September, and then I think he's trying to fight again in December. So I think probably the earliest that we'll be able to see it is sometime next year, the full unification fight. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Canelo's gonna take the winner of that.
All right, cool, man.
You think so? You 100% sure on that?
Oh, I'm positive. Canelo fights champions, man. He fights champions.
Why? That's why he's gonna go to a cruiser and fight, some of the other ones.
Macabre.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's what I'm
thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe.
What I've noticed that Canelo does throughout his career is like he likes to throw shit out there to the media just to get everybody riled up, and then never really has any intention of following through. But it works like a mud. It worked like he's done it often. Like they'll throw these little nuggets just to get everybody riled up, looking one way, and then he goes the other way.
What I do like is the fact that he's actually telling people, listen, do this, and that, and that stuff's happening.
He's telling these guys, hey,
go fight each other. Go fight each other.
And I'll fight all y'all at once.
But Andre, go fight someone else. I'll come back. I'll do whatever. But the problem is that these promoters
I've said it for years, man. I've said it for years.
So selfish that they want their fighters to get all the hype, they get all the money, they get all the attention, they get TV rights, they get everything, and they're not actually fighting the people they want to fight.
I've said it for years, man.
I'm talking about that one. That is a fight that it was actually recommended by a
Charlo.
Had it.
No reason why they shouldn't be fighting each other.
They should be fighting no matter what. If you actually want to fight the cash cows, because you want to make a big payday, I get it. You want that, but if you really want to do that, hey, he'll be waiting. He's got other bigger things to do. But I'd like to see that Bertavie. That's gonna be a very tough fight in my eyes, to be honest. That's gonna be something that for the ages, to be able to unify it also as well at the 175 pounds. Oh my God, it's gonna be crazy, fantastic.
Huh? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, for me, it's not I'm not as confident, Hopper, as you that he'll definitely take that fight because he has obligations.
Whoa, you're calling him a
no, not at all. But I
mean, shit. Wow, Gringo.
I think he's already laid out his schedule. So contractually, I don't know if he'd be able to get. That's what I'm saying.
Bivol and then Triple G.
Yeah, after the Triple G fight, again.
Yeah. So again, we'll see what happens. But final thoughts, Manny. I know that you wanted to touch on, at least your thoughts on Berlanga and Xander. We didn't get to touch on them last week, and some people came at Berlanga in the chat Maybe Steven Ruiz. Shout out to you, brother. We love you. But what's your thoughts on just final thoughts just of the week and anything you want to touch on? Berlanga, Xander?
Well, I mean, first of all, Sanders Sayas, we've talked a lot about him. Yes, absolutely. He is the guy that seems to be the most promising complete boxer, 152 pounds, and he's working his magic in 154. So he's making the weight pretty good. No knockout artist, no hype, no nothing. He's been built up the right way, and that's why people love him. Charismatic, talks to people, loves to be involved. Yes, starting to get a little trash talking, but that's the beauty about the boxing when you're a big top future prospect. However, on the other hand, Berlanga, I'm going to ask you, Chad. A question.
Oh, no.
Who did you fall in love with? Did you fall in love with Edgar Berlanga, or did you fall in love with a knockout first-round artist? Did you fall in love with the hype? Okay, then that's your problem, that you're not seeing what you actually brought you into the sport.
In your
all
face,
right?
Ringo.
And let me tell you something, because I hate the fact that people are starting to comment shit about certain things that you're not sure about. Number one,
hey, that's me.
When you're going to analyze a fight, and shout out to those people who actually party and then get an event going at home. But when you do those kind of stuff, you don't actually analyze or visualize certain things inside the fight. You have a couple of drinks. You may be like, okay, here, there. But the best way to do this is the next day. You watch the fight. You see round for round. And you start judging the right way with no distractions whatsoever. And I did just that. And I did it 3 times. Did Berlanga had his best fight? No. Was it disappointing? Disappointed for you guys that wanted to have a knockout. That's up to you. And this third one is, are you measuring the opponent? Big shout out to Steve Rolls. He did everything he had to do to try to stop him from that over right hand. He double jabbed. He put him into the distance. Very uncomfortable. We all talked about this. You guys think that after the Nichols fight, that things were going to start getting easy for Berlanga? You guys were saying, oh, we need to see Berlanga at the distance to see what he's got. Well, let me tell you something. The distance means that he needs to fight better opponents and more rounds to try to develop himself. And I'm going to put a different perspective. Basketball, Michael Jordan, Steve Curry, they had to shoot thousands and thousands and thousands of free throw, 3-pointers to get to the level that they are. Did Berlanga did that with 16 fights? Was he able to prove himself shot after shot? No, he didn't. This is the time. And we talked about it. Ever since Nichols came in on board and started fighting with him, we knew for a fact that the opposition has started to get tougher and tougher and tougher. And that was the case. Was that performance what people were expecting? No, because you fell in love with the hype. You fell in love with the actual knockout artist. But if you think about it, Berlanga won 7 rounds. Steve Rolls won 3 rounds. Round number 1 was Steve Rolls. Round number 6 was Steve Rolls. Round number 7 was Steve Rolls. No, round number 8 was not Steve Rolls. And if you look at the fight, and if you saw the fight for a second time or a 3rd time, you would know that the instructions from the corner were very strict and were right to the point. Where's my 3 and 4? Where's my 3 and 4? Right? Was that what we heard there? What happened in round number 8? The 3 came into the body, and the 4 was that over right hand, which actually hurt Steve Rolls. Then we see Berlanga commenting and trying to do his thing on round number 9 and number 10, which in fact, Steve Rolls gave him a run for his money. This is what's called a much better opponent that actually is going to help you develop to the championship rounds. So don't bash him because he didn't expect a knockout, or you expect a brutal fight. 7-3, that's fucking domination. And if you see it again, you're probably gonna agree with me. So give the guy some time. I'm not trying to justify anything of that. All right, because I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with Berlanga. You want me to tell you what's wrong with Berlanga? I'm gonna tell you right now. Number 1, arrogance. He's too arrogant right now. He needs to get down to the level of the earth. All right. And what I mean by that, you probably didn't see the fight. Manny, what the fuck you're talking about? At the end of every fight, every boxer raises their hand, go to their corner, salute their fans. Berlanga didn't do any of that shit. He never addressed his fans. And that's why you heard a little bit of a boo, right? Not because he couldn't knock him out, not because he couldn't perform. Berlanga right now mentally is actually believing the hype that the media build, right? That this promoter built, right? And not to mention the fans, the hardcore fans that they attracted Berlanga in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of when the Hurricane Maria came in. Berlanga was the light at the end of the tunnel. And when you see that the way, you're going to build your expectations so high that you're actually going to get disappointment. And that's what's happening right now. Let the guy work his craft. Yes, he needs to move his head. Yes, he needs to bring in different combinations because he's only a one-dimensional boxer, and that over right hand. No double jab, no jabbing at all. There is work. There's work in progress right now with Berlanga, and we need to see continue him building up with some of the fighters. So don't bash him. I mean, he's going to be okay. He's going to be pretty good, but he needs to continue to work. It wants to be at that level. Yes, there has to be only one messenger in that corner, and we saw a bunch of people talking shit in that corner. That's another shit that you have to fix. So in a nutshell, give the guy some time. Don't fucking expect the hype, just like fucking Bradley did. Then now he's talking smack about 15 fights. All Bradley was talking, the knockout artist, here it is. And now on this last fight, he was talking so much shit. But in the middle of the rounds, that's the Berlanga we want to see. That's what I'm talking about. Look at him jabbing. Look at him throwing the 3 and 4. Fuck, he always contradicts himself, and that's why everyone's getting pissed off. You know, ESPN, get this guy fucking out of here, man, to be honest. I mean, I have respect what he did in the sport, but if you can't handle the fact that you got people better than you, even commentating, right? And now you're trying to pick on Boot Enos, you're trying to pick up youngsters who are actually up and coming, and you're trying to match them with people that they still yet to be ready for, and you're expecting that? Come on, give me a fucking break.
All right, I was gonna talk about something different. A final thought. I'll get to my final thought as well. But to Berlanga, my opinions on Berlanga. Look, he brings it on himself. When you say things like, "In 18 months, I'll be ready for Canelo. I'll be ready for Benavidez," and then you go out 2 fights in a row and look like that, bro, humble yourself a little bit before you mention guys like Canelo and Benavidez. Because when Canelo was his age, 24 years old, Canelo was fighting Lara. He was fighting Kirkland. He was fighting Cotto. Cálmate, chico, por favor, un poquito. Take a step back, all right, before you mess with the big dogs. And the thing with Berlanga is that his jab. Like does he know that there's a punch called the jab? You know, and he's a plotter. His head movement's not there. I mean, he wants to finish somebody. So I'm like, dude, come on, take a step back. He's buying into his own hype, and I think it needs to be. It's a whole. I see a mess. Like when I see Berlanga, his corner, his hype. He's fucking. Oh, I want Canelo in 18 months, and that was like he said this 8 months ago or something like that. I'm like, dude, I don't know. You might want to. He brings it on himself, carnal. He brings it on himself.
But that is the same thing as Berlanga fans that are hardcore fans that they're starting to have that conversation. I'm like, hold on a second, stop a second. Are you listening to what you're talking about? Right? Because we can't. I mean, we could say, I would love to fight Berlanga in the future, but I got to work on my shit. But to be able to believe that you can beat him right now,
you word it.
No. And that's what I'm talking about. Open listen, people are seeing Berlanga like the hope, okay? But there's one thing about important, especially for Puerto Rican fans. Right? They tend to be attached to a lot of different things, but you can't communicate with your fans. If you can't be humble, you will not attract that super world championship like a Tito Trinidad. And I am freaking tired to hear like he's the next Tito Trinidad. He's the next Cotto. Cotto is arrogant, but he was a 4-division champion. Trinidad is the people's champ. There will never be any people's champ like Tito Trinidad. And I think the one closest that could get there is Sander Sayas.
And I don't even want to say that about him because then we start putting these expectations on them, and then as when they hit a bump in the road, we still fucking wants to talk shit. So no, hey, don't mention. There you go, boom, exactly. Don't even bring. I don't want to compare him to anybody. He's Xander. Xander is Xander. I don't want to put any expectations on the kid. I'm not comparing.
What I'm saying is the personality you need to have to become a people's champ. You need to really connect with your fans, and Berlanga ain't doing that. Not even inside the ring, nor outside the ring, and that's why people are getting frustrated.
And that's the contrast in personality. Xander's personality, Berlanga's personality. Xander is all smiles. He's loving, and then Berlanga, it looks like he's all Hollywood, like all. Now I don't want to say fake it, phony it. He's all. It's different. It's a different vibe with Berlanga. Like it's not genuine. It's it's like no se ve, como que no se ve el chavo.
Yeah.
Como es Xander, you see him smiling all the time, taking pics with fans, you know, shouting everybody out. You know, he's been on our show twice. I mean, that dude's amazing. There's a difference in personality.
And to your point, that's exactly the quality that we are not seeing in Berlanga. And us as fans, and you guys as fans or media or whatever, you guys need to really think about. It's not the boxing, it's what's in the mind. And we cannot build the hype because now we're believing the hype. Every person that I had here in my house, including my dad, except my dad understands there's a lot of development to do it. But everyone else was expecting a boom. Everyone else was expecting John Bausa because they're building the hype. And I said, calm down, people.
Calm down, man.
Is that the next one? Is this the next one? So every hater, now here comes the bearish people. All the people they want the stock to drop the stock. All the bearish people are starting to feed themselves like I told you, the chosen one. The chosen one.
I'm not even going to say that, bro.
It was built by the hype. It was built by the promoters. It was built by the people that I put for Berlanga right now as the main event, as the Puerto Rican attraction. And that is actually not working out at all. So instead of thinking about bashing the fact that he didn't perform well, now we need to start talking about what can he do to gain our trust and grind himself in the gym to be able to become that person. Is that going to happen? I don't know. And I love you, Papi Berlanga. I love you, met you. You're awesome. You're great. We have great conversations. We're just being real. We're being real. What we as fans see on the other side of the fence. I would have loved to see you jumping up in the ropes and just, kissing everyone, embracing everyone. Thank you for being here. Nothing of that happened. And that's your backyard, bro.
That was nerves too, though, man. I think because he didn't get the knockout and everything. No, that's just his personality.
That's his personality.
And then again, man, I don't want to write him off here, man. Is he
I'm not writing him off.
I think he is. There's a little bit of bumps in the road, of course. It's going to happen with every prospect. But I think it's a lot of it is outside of the ring. Too many people in the corner. It's just a lot of
you're right. That's
into his hype. I think
that was my comment. Us as fans, we're worried about what we're seeing inside the ring, but we're not actually seeing what is exactly damaging his career as a fan perspective. And as a fan, we're talking about that, not his skills. Yeah, he needs skills.
There's just a lot of shit going on all over the place for Berlanga to. Once he gets that ship riding and everybody's pulling in the same direction, I think you'll see him blossom into the fighter that he can he can become. But Gringo, my final thought was just going to be, as we kiss March away, we bring in April. You talk about all the names that are coming up. Even starting next week, we got the guy that beat Mikey Garcia, Sander Martin. He fights next Friday against Jose Felix. But then you got Triple G, Ryan Garcia, Erickson Lubin versus Sebastian Fedora, April 9th. Michaela Mayer. We got 4 fights on April 9th that are going to be pretty good.
Serrano,
busy. April 16th, Errol Spence. And then Conor Benn versus Chris Van Heerden fight on that same day. April is stacked. Joan Guerrero, Casimiro, Tyson Fury fights on April 23rd against Dillian White. And then April 30th, we have Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson, and Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. April is going to be, it's on fire, man. It's just, I can't wait, Fredas. It's April. It's going down.
No, it's definitely going down. And you guys brought up some great points. I would say for, the sake of time and just kind of wrap it up. I believe in Xander. I don't believe in Berlanga.
Okay. It's a fair statement. So let me ask you, what we don't want to hear about what you believe in Xander because we talked a lot about that. But what is it that you don't believe in Berlanga? Is it more the talent? Is it more he's too much on the hype? Or is it just because, what is it?
Everything.
In your face.
Yeah, it's this. Honestly, I think that they did a good job of promoting him, and props to them. Promotion, I think, shouldn't be looked at as a negative. I think it should be embraced. There's a lot of fighters that know how to embrace and promote themselves, and maybe it exceeds their talent. And I think this might be the case. Whereas you have people, case in point, recently he was humbled. Blair Cobb. He pushed his. I
didn't even talk about Blair Cobb.
Yeah, he got to the point where he was. Talking about the top guys, and the top guys were, talking crazy to him. But, his name is out there. We know who he is. He has a interesting story, but his talent doesn't match what his promotion is. So to me, I think that there's too many holes. There's too many areas of opportunity and too many flaws that it's going to just take too long to get him to where he needs to be. Now, that being said, and I talked about this to my brother Hopper offline, I think at the end of the day, man, you can't hide from the truth. So, when you keep pushing these guys up higher and higher, and that goes for Virgil Ortiz and all these guys, man. When
everyone,
you put all these guys to a certain level. I don't believe in this. They're not ready. If you get to a certain level of being ranked, just put them in there. If they lose, they lose. I mean, fuck it. I think that's a loser mentality to, give them one more fight or two more. If they lose and they get their ass knocked out, then clearly they're not the guy. So that's where I'm coming from.
Well, and I'm coming to the fact that that's a perfect message right there from the Barbelange image is what we've been sold to us. And it's the same thing that happens. I'm going to put a real quick example. Edward Kid Vasquez, who took Raymond Ford, a guy that they've been trying to hype and pushing him to the next level, right? He clearly beat his ass, right? And they took the fight away from him. Why? Because he's that guy they've been pushing. We can't really fight against that, but those are some of the things that they're trying to sell us and push us, and we buy into that. We do. They got great talent, don't get me wrong, but they buy into that. Didn't that happen with Wilder? What, he had 40-0, all 40 knockouts, right? And people wanted to see Wilder because he's the knockout 2-second puncher, right? When they saw him lose for the first time, everyone was saying he's got no boxing skill. But for 40 fights, he was knocking people out. Oh, everyone was cheering and jumping up and down. So we gotta be very cautious y no ser bien hipócritas con lo que nosotros nos venden, con la perspectiva que nosotros tenemos y que nos cambian la mentalidad, because that is brought on purpose, because the network wants more money, more attention, promoters, and then guess what? Us as fans, we pay the damage and we believe the hype, which we shouldn't.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. I mean, there's no shame in having guys that are. I mean, just recently, I know it's apples and oranges, but like you had Ebony Bridges, right? No. She recently won a belt. She was on an undercard for Warrington, Kiko Martinez too. She was, I mean, even Eddie Hearn was saying like people were giving him shit, saying that she was just a gimmick. She just won a belt. Now, I mean, again,
give her props, man.
Yeah, give her props. You know what I mean? She promoted herself. She's self-promotion, and that's one thing that I've always had taken.
Very self-promoted.
Extremely. Like that was the thing that I've always taken issue with. I'll say EJ, Errol Spence Jr., and for Spence Crawford. For Terrence Crawford. You got to promote yourself too, man. You can't just sit back completely, just rely on somebody else. I get you don't have a personality, or you do, you don't, whatever. I mean, but at the end of the day, you're your own business, right? So are you not going to talk about your business and then get mad no one knows who you are? That's you. You know what I mean? That's you. So, yeah, you have promotion that's going to help build you up, but they have to have something to work with. So that's all I'm saying. So for the standpoint of he maximized his talent, where from the standpoint of the promotion exceeded the talent. That's it. So when I say I believe, do I believe he'll be a champion? At this point, right now, if nothing else changes, that's what I'm saying, Manny. I'm not saying that he's
I'm cool about it. I understand that.
Yeah, if nothing else changes, like if he continues to have 20 people in the corner, if he's part of the terror squad and he's on Instagram more than he's in the gym, then yeah, I don't believe in that. I believe in Xander and the path he has, the current path. Now, that not saying it could be a 180 and they could change. Xander will get older, and who knows? He may meet somebody that could veer him away. The good thing is with strong family structure, and that doesn't look like that'll be the case. But life happens. So as of right now, gun to my head, I believe in Xander. I don't believe in Berlanga. Point blank.
Fair statement.
All right. So I want to go ahead and get another thing out here that I think is real important. Then we'll go ahead and close things out. The Boxing Showcase, they had a big card yesterday. Shout out to them in Mesquite, Morales, Salido. Man, just when you thought the exhibition fights were over, they're not. The Boxing Showcase is still putting on great cards with prospects working with the WBC. They also got another card coming out April. Can't read the date. All right. So sometime in April, we'll be talking more about that. They have a lot of exciting cards. 15. Thank you very much. It's on a Friday. So, Friday cards are, to me, Friday cards, Saturday afternoon cards, comparable, right? I'm pretty good with that. So, again, it's been a great show. Brother Manny got hype, and we got a good chance. We mentioned Canelo. I mean, everybody's happy, man. So it's been a good show. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're tuning in live on the YouTube or the Facebook or the podcast audio version, man. We got much love. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the support. Also, we got a lot of shows coming up from the HCP network, man. You don't want to miss them, man. And if you miss them,
emotional dad.
Also, don't forget the greatest nickname of all time.
My name's One Time for a reason. I lost one time.
Never forget that shit. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Before we go, shout out to the WBO for honoring Terrence Buck Crawford in Puerto Rico. Great job. Taking some of these young talent individuals, prospect, contenders into the next level, and in honoring one of the great guys currently right now. Hopefully we see him fight on a fight that makes sense and means. Right now you can see the only Puerto Rican world champion in the men's side of it. That is Jonathan Bubba Gonzalez.
Absolutely, brother. So with that being said, man, we out of here. We got so much appreciation for you guys, and we are.
Adios. HCP.
It's Maestro A. It's Kenny T. I'm back in New York City after a weekend in Las Vegas.
When we got Power Punchers episode 2, episode dos. Hit that like button as you come in.
It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. You know what time it is. It's time for the shoot.
Everyone, welcome to Al Chile. We got my partners in crime, Run PMC and Nopal with us and visiting us for the first time. Al Chile means keeping it
style real. Boxing. Thanks to those joining me live. Those that be joining me here on Archive. I've been joined by the new co-host of ATP, Nancy, from the Boxing Republic.
It's my birthday, and then obviously, Red says to me, these are my girls. You have to make sure you do the interview for them. I said, you know what? Even though it's my birthday, we'll do it. No problem.
Oh, you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All-Star panel, the round table, number 58. Really good weekend.
Seguimos en vivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should.
Welcome to the Ringside Reporters Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we're going to talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib.